Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of July 21st through the 25th. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from July 14th through the 18th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is Rivn. We ended the week at $13.70, up 6.20%. This is where we ended. To the north side, takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area at roughly 1409, at 3 SD 1442, and at 4 SD that would take us to 1476, and that means we would hit a price target that the analysts have predicted, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Now to the south side, back at the middle of the trend, it's very close to this line right here, which I've marked out previously. We would actually be falling down to this area again, and that was marked out on Friday, June 13th. And because this is so close to it, I will delete it right now. I don't need these lines, but I do like to look at them. You can delete the other ones because they are old, but sometimes they act as support and resistance as well. To the south side of that, 1278, a potential buy-in area, a potential stop loss area, 1245 and 1210. Here is that 1 year price target, 1471. But when I looked at it previously, it was 1476. So it's been revised downward. And they say to the south side, 705, which would be cratering, and then to the upside, that $23 mark. That would be very nice. Now, as far as gaps go, this gap to the upside is the play for this week, which we could wick up to definitely on Monday. This gap to the south side is still in play to 1241, and this one will take us to 1179, closing out at roughly 1138-ish. And note, where was the buy-in or a strong, clear buy-in area? Or right here, we touched this line. That is support, and then we bounced up. This is resistance, kind of made it to this line and fell off. And that was a line I marked out. The yellow lines are from 2024. So we've just retraced back to 2024 levels. And then this gap that closed out right out of the gate on Monday closed to the upside at 1301. We went down, then we closed it to the upside. So actually that should be green. And when you mark out these gaps in this way, you can see how you've marked it incorrectly, or it just looks weird. Like I have a gap to the upside, but it's red. No, that doesn't make sense. All right, so what else? Oh, if we go and hit this line, we could chop sideways for a little bit or hit this line and then bounce back up for a support play to the upside. But right now, this RSI is going sideways, it looks like, as well. So this gap touched. We're done. 1372, delete. All right, and by the end of the week with Rivn, we are still, as you can see, in an upward channel. Let me just extend this really quickly. And by the end of the week, your targets could be 1486, where we rest at that place, 1551, 1584, and even 1616, 1422, 1378, and possibly back to an area we've been, 1353. Okay, that is enough of Rivn. Let me move on. Tsly had a little bit of a bounce because we were going down. It was bleeding out because Tesla and Tsly took a hit with the whole Elon Musk and Trump feud. All right, 803 is where we ended. To the north side, this looks off too. Let me move that. One level of resistance. We may not get to this level, could be close enough, and then roll down because that is resistance, 810. Oh, 810. That lines up with this gap, and I'll show that to you in a second. 814, or talk about it a little bit more. 818. The middle of the trend now is here, so we could chop sideways and then either roll over or bounce up. Keep an eye on the RSI. Different time frames give you different buy and sell signals. Okay, another level of support and a buy-in, 794, 790, and 786. Now, looking left, at the beginning of the week, we were here. We went to resistance, fell down, another level of resistance, sell off. This is a clear area of support, and we bounced. And then this is also support, this line, and we bounced off that, grinding along the middle for a fall to support. Okay, you get the drift. Here's resistance, and now we're just chopping along this line. This is a gap to the south side still in play, as well as this gap. Tsly has many gaps, many landmines to the south side. Keep that in mind. Now, this gap closed on, let's see, that touched on Friday, and I did not clean that up previously. That took us to 772, and then we ran up some more. This gap, oh, that gap really hits right here, but it touched right there at 780, delete. Okay, and I have a lot right here at 793, and I'm thinking about just closing this out at 810 and take my money and run. And we could obviously go higher, but if I'm playing it conservatively, I would just hop off here. Sometimes we hit it and sometimes we don't, but we are so close that I think we will definitely hit it and close it out on Monday. Okay, see all those gaps? All right. And that's 810, and then the gap after that, what am I tracking? Oh, we've got a gap. What is that one? Let me drag out this. There we go. Here's my public service announcement. I own a rental, and if you own a home in that development, please vote her out. Vote out Donna Turberg and Dean White. All right. What else? We don't need board members on the board for 26 years. Okay, that one will extend. All right, and by the end of the week, since we are in an upward channel, we could end at 839. I wish. Okay, Intel, we've got earnings this coming week right here on the 25th. So this could be volatile here. Oops. Now, 2310 is where we ended. Let me give you price targets for Monday. And Monday only. The outer bands could take us to another day, but I'm just giving you Monday, 2364. I should just stop right here and maybe give you this one, 2394, because the likelihood of hitting this, blah, 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 is not great from where we are. But if we wick up there, that could be a possibility. We could hit it, and then it will get slammed down. All right, 2303 is one level of support, or we could go grind sideways. I cannot speak. I think I need water. All right, that is a gap to the downside. Another level of support takes us to a level I've already talked about at 2241, 2212, 2180, what did I see? 81-ish. So we've got this gap still in play. Good Lord, look at this. To $29. It's been a slow grind up. Because remember, we were stuck in that $18 range, $19 range for a long time, and we're finally at 23 here. Okay, and then we've got this gap, which I'll drag out later, and this gap. All these tiny little gaps. Ugh. Okay, those are landmines to watch out for. And that is it. So, 2377 is the next target. We almost hit that. Okay, and then after that is NEO. We ended the day at 439. What happened with NEO? The middle of the trend is this line. I'm going to mark it out, and it looks very cluttered at this level. So what do I want to get rid of? I'm going to get rid of the older one. Where is the older one? It's, oh my gosh, look at this, how long I've tracked this for a very, very long time. It's this one that is, what I want to call, not as old as the other one. So let's delete that one. I'll keep the really old one on. So option R to reset. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, and then a level above it, many levels in between here. Remember that. Depends on where you set your length. I play it in bigger lengths. 467, 479, and no way this level here. And if we do 490, if we do, people will take their profits and they will run, they will lock in, and they will leave. Look, exactly what happened here. We hit this critical area of resistance and we're falling for a potential buy-in somewhere down there. Okay, that's to the north side. The south side, 422, 411-ish, and 399. This gap closed to the upside at roughly 425. This gap opened up at the beginning of the week, still in play. $393 red. And here, why didn't that turn red? Because I hit the wrong thing. There. And there. Oops, I hit. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, that's in play. And this gap, oh nice, this gap at 409, which opened up on Friday the 16th at 409, touched out of the gate on Monday, right here. So this is done. We gapped up on Monday. So 409, yay, delete. 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 And it started at 399, delete, delete. And that's gone. Tracked that one for many, many weeks. Okay. And what is this one? Oh yeah, that touched, so that needs to go as well. See, that one's done. 367, I don't know why it's hanging out over here. Delete. There, that looks much nicer. Okay. Look at this. We had a nice run up here to resistance. This line turned into resistance from 2024. Here's resistance as well. Clear buy-in signal. That closed out. Buy-in signal here. Clear sell signal. All right, the next one is going to be Nike. Resistance will be, and a take profit area, 72.85, and we could chop sideways and then fall down as well. 73.58, 73.93, 74.29, 72.13, 71.75, and 71.38. Looking left, support, a buy-in, resistance, chopping sideways there, another level of resistance, take profit, hit this line, which is support, because that is the gap, bounced up, fell back down. This is support down here as well. This is resistance. We broke right through. This is a sell-off area. Resistance, resistance, and now we're just chopping sideways and up around this line right here. Okay, so, this gap that opened up out of the gate is done. Okay. And this is our next gap to the upside. And then to the downside. And this is not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, just something to be aware of there and there. That's all I'm going to mark out because we are not in that zone. Okay, let's move on. Boeing. I was going to drop this one because we met it, but there are two other gaps that I'm just going to track for now, and I'll show that to you in a moment. And if the recording ends, I'm not going to pick up where I left off. 231.22, 232.21, 233.25. This is the new middle of the trend. Support. 226.97, 225.96, 224.89. Looking left, this gap opened up, so we will, and it gapped up, so we will anticipate it to roll over and close out at 226.81. This is a clear support buy-in, a clear resistance, resistance here as well, support here. This is resistance, resistance. That means it's a sell-off. Take profit. Those are your warning signs. Okay, the gap that I'm tracking next, I have to go back so far. So it's easier for me just to go, let's try the 1 hour so you can see it. Okay, so we are at 229.34 right here. This gap already closed out at 229.69 and 222.06. I got to go way back and clean this up. Delete, delete. And then, oops, Command Z. This thing right here, what is, oh, that's way up here. Okay. So this one already touched, it looks, oh. I have to go through and clean these up. Okay, that's closed out. Now you just do a little bit at a time. So we've got this gap, 248.85. How far do I have to go here? Oh, good Lord, look at this. Okay, and then we have this one as well. And then there was one more up here. That was not part of my original gap and go. I started the gap and go down here, but this is something I tracked previously, so I think we can get there. It's going to take a long time, though. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to look pretty. Oops. But it's there. Next. Sofi. Is it the last one? Please tell me. Yeah. Okay, Sofi. This one's bounced us around. Okay, that's your resistance. And if we chop sideways, 21.94, 22.48, 22.75, 23.03. Support, 21.40, 21.12, 20.85. Looking left, this is resistance. When we fall down to this line, it's support. This is resistance. This is support and a buy-in. This is resistance. We have a tiny little gap there. I'm not going to bother. And it did close to the upside at 21.47. Resistance, clear area of resistance. This is a buy-in support area. And the RSI is turning up, it looks like. So that's our next target here. And then we have some downside action at some other point. Just be aware of that. Many gaps to the downside to be aware of. All right. Oops. And I think, is there something? Oh, here's my public service announcement too. I think that's it for now. 2260. I think I have one. I'll have to check that on the daily time frame, but that does it for now. That's enough to give you some technical analysis for Monday. So hopefully we'll have a green day. And that is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of July 21 through the 25th. Hopefully Sofi will end up here at 22.97 or 23.54. But to the downside, very close to where we are now. Okay, that's it. If there is a ticker you want me to go over, let me know. Have a great trading week.